What is going on? Today I have with me an ambition athlete, OG, a U17 JPHL champion, Mr. Linden. How's it going, brother?
Good to be here.
Glad to hear him, man. So overall today, I just wanted to highlight your journey as a player because I know with you, we've taken huge strides within your career so far. And I just wanted to talk through how you used our program so far. So before you came to me as your coach, talk me through your story and your journey through hockey.
Yeah. So I started in Burns Lake, BC, and I kind of just I played. We had to play rep and rec, half and half growing up. So I got quality practices once a week, pretty much, and the rest were recreation house practices. And then right around my first year, U15, I made the jump to I billeted for a program in AA in Prince George, and that's where I first kind of got to experience what training for hockey kind of looked like what it looked like for a strength and conditioning program. And I really got to experience high level hockey there and kind of dip my toe in. And I wasn't very good. I I was slow. I didn't have much going. And then kind of the next summer, I got a little bit faster, a little bit stronger. And then that year I played AAA, and it was an all right year. And then my season got shut down early February, and I found Connor's program, and like it took me to another level as far as my game. Like it just I gained so much speed like through one summer, and I went from being like a kind of slow only penalty kill defenseman to being able to join the rush, like actually control the game from the back end. And I've always known that, like, as far as my hockey IQ goes, I've been able to control a game. It's just been a physical thing my whole life. And it changed that. And then this year I had a really, really good year. Point production wise and performance wise, I thought I had an amazing year in Williams Lake with the North Stars and the JPHL. And yeah, going into this year, I have a strong option to play junior hockey in the KIJHL, and I've got a BCHL team that I have the chance of playing for in the next year or two. But all that is because my trajectory changed so much through just the proper training, the proper nutrition, everything.
Yeah, man. Like even the nutrition was huge because when you first came to me, you were looking to lose some weight, and we were able
Yeah.
to lose about like 15 pounds in like just over a few months, right?
Yeah. And that was a huge part of it. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
leaning
talk me
out.
through your experience with how your habits change with the nutrition within the program.
Well, I mean, I kind of like I had a pretty general knowledge, like everybody does have a pretty general knowledge of what's healthy and what's not. Like grows out of the ground, eat it. If it's like processed and loaded with chemicals, it's probably not good for you. But I think the biggest thing was changing my habits as far as being able to track what I'm eating, like macronutrients, being able to track how many calories I was intaking, making sure I was in a calorie deficit. And but not only that, making sure that I was eating enough protein to maintain muscle and lose fat. Like that was the biggest change in my habit, was like eating to fuel my training helped so much.
Yeah,
Like you can train as hard as you want, but if you're not eating properly, it's not going to do anything.
exactly. Yeah. And like another big thing was like when you were on those bus trips, you were always asking me like, what should I have for snacks here? Should I kind of meals should I eat? That's like one of the biggest things because I see within midget hockey and juniors especially because they're on a budget, but they tend to eat like complete shit. And it's up to
Mm-hmm.
you as a player to take your nutrition into your own hands so you're actually playing better on the ice.
Yeah, that was huge too. Like the game day nutrition habits were a huge change in just not even my physical performance, but mental performance. Like
Mhm.
you don't really notice it until you're actually doing it. Little habits can make such a huge difference.
Yeah, you have that mental edge too. Like you know your competition and even your own teammates, they're not going to be putting in that much work on their nutrition because it's not something they think about.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And coming back to your speed, was there a specific point in time where you're like, I need to fix this? Something has to change. I need to find a coach when you reached out to me.
I think the biggest thing was like I never really used video as a tool. And then I kind of in late December in my second year U15, I went back and watched a bunch of video where it was like there were situations where I could jump up into the rush, where I could pinch on guys, where I could make a play or do anything really, where it was just like you noticed like I just couldn't do it
Hmm.
because I didn't have the speed to be able to do it. So I was severely lacking in the plays I was able to make because I didn't have the speed to do them.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially like with you lacking that speed, it can take a huge toll on you mentally. Like, I don't know if I'm able to pinch at all in games because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get back. So like by
Mhm.
actually training your strength, power, speed, so you don't have to think about that is huge, especially coming into the next level. Like you're stepping into U18s and juniors now. You don't that's something you don't have to think about and you're gonna be playing at a higher level.
100%. Yeah.
And with you being on, like you said, in your first year Bantam, you got an intro to strength and conditioning. Was there anything different you noticed from the regular programs you did versus the one we started up?
So I really liked the program in Prince George, but I think that a lot of what they were doing was kind of focused on the smaller guys who needed to gain strength and size, whereas
Mhm.
that's not what I needed to work on. And I always had the strength and size. I just needed to get faster, really. I think the biggest thing is that the program I did with you was actually tailored to what I needed to do and not one for an entire team, because like if you're trying to fit a little bit of everything into a workout, you're not actually getting the most you could get out of it. And that's why I think having a tailored program to what you need to work on is huge.
Yeah, like there's mainly two types of players, and like a lot of players are strength deficient. Like I was one of them growing up. Like I can move fast, but I didn't have the strength and power to actually put behind each stride. Whereas you had that strength, you were just lacking that power and speed. Therefore, your program needed to be tailored towards that, which I don't think a lot of
Yeah.
players get.
Hmm.
Going off that point, what has been your favorite part about working with me so far?
I honestly just think that my favorite part of working with your program is that like it's flexible. Like you can fit like you can fit things in. Like if there's a restriction in an exercise I can do because I'm let's say I got injured in one game, like I can just shoot you a text and you can send me a workout that is going to rehab but also work on other things that aren't injured. And I think that's huge, like the fact that it's like family dynamic almost within
Mhm.
the program, and it's unlike any other program I've worked with.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that because like a big thing with like injuries and like obstacles you'll come within your training is some kids will just won't do anything. Like, oh, I hurt my wrist today. I'm not going to train at all. Rather, you
Yeah,
would rather how can I find a way to train and get better today so that I'm one step closer to that end goal,
yeah, 100%.
which is essentially my goal. I'm not just trying to give players programs and just say fuck it, follow it on your own. Like that's what I had to deal with growing up. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do the opposite of and just give you custom coaching that you can implement every single day to get better.
Yeah, and it's between the difference in programs, 100%.
And with you stepping into juniors and U18 now, is there any tips you'd give to younger players or your younger self that would allow them to take the next step in their career faster?
I honestly think that like I like what you're saying, but I'd almost say the opposite is just don't rush it. Like if you need to work on something, work on it and get it to the level you need it to before you make that jump. Like if you're not strong enough to play junior hockey, get a strength coach and get stronger. If you're
Hmm.
not fast enough to beat, like get somebody to train your speed for you. Like
Hmm.
take the necessary steps beforehand so that way you're not there's no guesswork that has to be done.
Hmm.
Always be prepared for those steps, but don't rush what you're doing. And
Exactly,
if
man.
you the program and work your ass off, follow the nutrition plan, it's gonna happen.
Like
Yeah.
even one thing I noticed with kids is like even if I give them a plan, they won't do it so they won't see results. So like you have to put in the work. It takes
Yeah.
time, dedication, effort, just like you've been able to do on the program. And your results have shown on the ice. But like you have to have that drive every single day. And you can't try to shortcut the process, which I see a lot of kids try to do. Just looking for that quick fix, that
Yeah.
one thing that one magical thing that allowed them to get to the next level when it doesn't exist. It's just hard work.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome, man. So that's pretty much it. I appreciate the time. Have a good
Yeah.
one.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, you too.